Welcome to Like a Mom. This is a podcast where we prove that you don't have to choose between rocking it at home and building a thriving business. You actually get to do both. We're here to ditch the stereotypes, crush those limiting beliefs, and show you how the skills that you use every day that make you a great mom are actually the same ones that make you an incredible business owner. Let's dive into empowering conversations, practical tips, and plenty of inspiration and support to help you thrive in every part of your life. Because, like a mom, you're already unstoppable. Let's do this. Hello, and welcome to this week's episode. To be honest with you, this is not really what I planned on talking about this week, but it seems to be like this reoccurring theme that is happening with everybody I talk to and everywhere I go, and it just became apparent like this is something that I feel like I need to talk about because it obviously is something that we're all dealing with right now, and it honestly is just a lot. The topic of today that I want to talk about is how we as moms can thrive in a chaotic world. Like, how do we stay aligned with our true self and our goals and raising a happy, thriving family and growing a business and making our own money and, just like living the life that we actually want to live when it feels like the entire world around us is like blowing up in flames or is sad or like all of these things. Like, I'm not even just talking about just the political stuff going on. It's just everybody is dealing with sickness and everyone is dealing with financial hard times and everyone, like, we all know somebody or we are those somebodies that are like really just struggling to keep our head above the water. And as a mom who is trying to like raise happy, healthy kids and, bring more money in, we can't really get drawn into all of that. We can't go into that negative space because we will then not be able to effectively generate any of the stuff that we actually want. And so the question is, in a world today that feels like a whirlwind, it's literally a blend of chaos and uncertainty and unpredictability and sadness. And then the next moment you feel excited and love and like there's hope. And it's just like this torn, it's like if you're just like being torn apart in two different ways. How do we stay above that negative energy? How do we keep going in a positive direction and not get drawn into the noise of everything around us that is like trying to pull us down? Because you can't give into that noise. You have to keep your vibration high, because if you give into that noise and you go into the frustrated state and you go into the negative despair and whatnot, you're going to start attracting more of that. You're going to start attracting more complaining and more sad stories and more chaos and like more of this, drama is kind of what's coming to my mind, but it's just like that negative tune that there is, and we don't want that. And so I was sitting around and I was thinking, and I have been doing a lot of work on this myself, because you can't pick up your phone and you get on social media and not see it. You can't turn the TV on and not see it. You can't go out into the world or have a conversation with somebody and not see it. And at all times, like, somebody is going to be being triggered by something. And so when they're in their trigger like moment of what's going on and how the world is affecting them, how do we let them be in their trigger moment and not take that on? Because honestly, if we're taking all of everybody's trigger moments on top of all of our own trigger moments on, we're just going to be triggered all the time. And so I've been in this place myself of like really having to work on making sure that I'm not getting pulled into all that chaos and all of that noise around me, and staying more of in a thriving, positive, energetic state, which, I mean, honestly, it's kind of hard right now because at some points in the day, I feel like I'm going to need to just be in a closet alone by myself in order to keep my energy at this certain like level. Because as soon as I go around anywhere or anyone or look at anything, it's like I'm immediately being met with resistance of like, okay, can you keep your positive like thought process going here? Or are you going to start giving into this like limited like belief, like this fear, scarcity thing that's going on? And everybody that I've talked to is facing the same thing. And all of my mom friends and business entrepreneur friends, we're all kind of in this place of like, whoa, I could be real close to burnout. I'm not really sure how much I can keep going and what I can, actually do from this point. It kind of is feeling really difficult and really sad, and I'm exhausted. And, like we have all the planets moving and all of the things changing, and, there's just so much going on in this world. And I was thinking about it earlier, and I was thinking about like all of the tips that I'm sharing about what I'm doing to try to keep myself grounded and level in this like chaotic times. And what hit me was we are all trying to stay out of the noise and the chaos of everything else so that we can keep thriving. Or we're finding that we're getting so caught up in the chaos that we're not thriving. We're not feeling good. We're feeling frustrated. We're feeling angry. We're feeling sad. Like we're feeling all of these things. We're not being productive. And I realize that thriving never has, never will, and doesn't come from any external circumstance or source. It literally just comes from within. It comes from within us. And so when we feel like we're not thriving, or when we feel like all of the chaos in the world, or all of the negativity, or all of the sadness, all of these things externally happening around us are like drawing us down, it's like the red flag. It's like the sign that we're actually focusing on all the wrong things in all the wrong places, because it's not any of those external people or external events or external circumstances that actually determine or dictate our ability to thrive as a mom, as a person, as a wife, as a business owner. All the roles that we play in our day every day, none of the external circumstances around us ever actually contribute to us thriving. We only thrive when we're coming from a place of alignment with our true self and our goals and our priorities and our happiness and our security and our stability. And so when the world is out here promoting all this fear and scarcity, it's absolutely important that we remember that none of that even matters, because even when all of that is happening and all of that is going on, we can stay rooted in our own optimism, in our own abundance, in our own gratitude, in our own truth, in our own selves. We can continue to be the light inside of us when the whole world is vibrating at fear and lack and scarcity. Like, we actually have the power to get rid of all that frustration and all of that sadness and all that lack that seems to be the reoccurring theme of feelings and talks going on in the world. It doesn't really have to affect us. It can be for them, and it can be their experience, and some people are going to carry that, and some people are going to let the externals affect their internal, and it can be sad. We can feel sad for that. Like, we can feel sad for those people that are, struggling, or those people that are living in fear, or those people that are just wanting to sit in a pity party, or those people that, whatever. But at the end of the day, we actually all have the power and the ability to choose if we're going to look at things from a place of shadow, darkness, negativity, pessimism, or if we're going to look at things from a place of optimism and possibilities and joy and hope and light. Every single person has the ability to choose which one they're going to look at, the moon or the sun. Which one are they going to focus on? How are they going to act? How are they going to behave? What is the narrative that is going to be that they say in their mind and outside to their family and in their business? And so I really was going back through what I've been doing that I can share with others to help, and that just really hit me about how clear it is that we are giving power over to all these external circumstances and not really remembering that our wholeness and our steadiness and our rootedness, it only comes from within us. It's never from anything outside of us. And so I think the first thing, if you're struggling with, like me, like the rest of us, with the chaos going on and the pressure of having to, be a thriving mom and have a happy, home, and all of the things that just come with life that you want these to be good things. If you're struggling with that, take a minute and stop and think, am I actually giving so much power to all of these external things? Am I choosing to look at the shadow side of it, the dark side of it, the moon side of it, or am I looking for the sun side of it? When a situation is in front of me or there's something going on, it's okay to feel sad for that and still see the sun in it. And so stop and take a minute and really reflect and see which one you're doing. Where are you falling? What category are you falling into? Because I have a feeling that most of us have been falling into this shadow side, this moon dark side. And we haven't really been focusing on making sure that we're staying attuned to the sun, the light, the hope, the possibility, the opportunity, the joy, the love, that side of it. That's where we need to stay. That's where we need to focus. And I feel like when we get to that place, it's so much easier to get the things done that you need to get done in the day. When you're in the negative place and you're in the pessimistic place and the chaos of the world and everything that's going on, it seems like every minute there's something new. There's some news story. There's some new something. When you're in that place, how productive are you actually being? For me, not much. I literally had to tell my mom the other day that I was going to need to turn the TV off. I was going to need to get off of my computer, and I was going to need to put my phone down, and I was going to need to go outside, and I was going to need to work on sanding a piece of furniture outside in my backyard with my birds where no one could reach me, because it was literally constant, nonstop. I could not, everywhere there was so much chaos, and I was having a hard time really not giving into that moon pessimistic side. So I want to kind of share with you some of my tips that I've been doing to kind of help me stay out of that negative space and more centered in to myself, so that I can continue showing up as a mom and not be cranky and not be, irritable and not be snippy and not be, all of these things that don't feel good to me and don't feel good to them. And I can stay, when I'm centered into myself and my hope, my mind naturally just starts getting creative in my business. And so I start getting ideas of things I could do, or, things that just it's like my brain just clicks better positively and optimistically. And then my business actually has growth. I actually have productivity. And so both of those aspects of me tend to thrive better when I am staying together and not falling apart. And so some of the things that I've been doing is, one, just making sure that I'm reconnecting, connecting with myself and my truths, and not the truths of the world or the truths of anyone else or the truths of anyone else's, narrative or their situations or whatever. And I do this by a couple different ways. Like, you can do this. Meditation is like a really great way to do this. And so one of the things that works for me, I'm a manifesting generator by human design. And so I go and I have 10 different things going, and it's a lot to some people, but I'm just not, I don't sit and I don't like focus on one particular thing. One thing will spark a curiosity for another thing, and before you know it, I'm doing two things. And so for me, meditation, sitting and being still isn't always like really easy for me. So what I've been doing is, when you get up in the morning, you can do meditation before you ever get out of the bed, where you just take a few minutes and you just sit in silence and you focus on actually breathing. There's so many times throughout the day that we're not actually breathing, we're just holding our breath, and that's just so not good for us in so many ways. But just stop and take a minute and focus on your breathing, and then just really tune into like your inner voice, not your thoughts, not your mind, your inner voice and your inner truth. And then if that doesn't work for you, you can do this while you're in the shower, or while you are putting your makeup on, or while you're making your breakfast. Like, you can, at any time in your day, you can stop or keep moving and like just get silent and focus on your breathing and just listen to what your internal, like your gut area has to say. And then, of course, you can go on YouTube, and there's all kinds of apps that have all kinds of guided meditations, and those are pretty helpful whenever, meditation doesn't come easy to you. But just getting quiet for yourself and breathing can really do a lot for you. Another thing is journaling, or if you're creative like me, I have been just kind of sketching, just kind of drawing, doodling, and it doesn't always have to turn into something. It can just be lines and squigglies on the paper. It can just be paint or colored pencils or whatever. Just kind of like journal and doodle and just like let your creativity flow. And while you're doing that, think about your intentions. Like, what are your intentions? What have been your wins? Like, what are your priorities? Like, reflect on what you've been doing that's been working, or what you've been doing that you need to let go of that needs a shift. Just take a minute and just play. And really just like kind of process through your emotions and process through like whatever it is that comes up. Because when you start creating, something's going to start coming up and coming out. And just let it be what it is and don't judge it. Just, you can doodle and you can write words, and the words can just be what they are. Or you can literally just journal out, like write out whatever comes to your mind, whatever comes out your hand, just let it go out. And it doesn't have to make sense. It doesn't have to be a whole story that makes sense. It doesn't have to be grammatically correct. It doesn't have to flow. It doesn't have to any of that. It can just be a bunch of choppy little stuff all like there that just like is coming out. Just journal and let it come out. And then, of course, affirmations are really key, because we have this narrative going on in our head that we don't always even know is there. And so when we have these things in our head that are kind of not necessarily positive things, like these blocks and these limiting beliefs, when the energy around us is negative, or when chaos is happening, or when someone else is sharing their limiting beliefs, before you know it, it can trigger that limiting belief that your mind also says. And then you're just rehearsing this in your mind before you even know it. You don't necessarily even know it's happening when it starts getting triggered. So if you can focus on morning affirmations, daily affirmations, like all throughout the day, just stop and just ground yourself in the truth and in like a positive affirmation. I am capable of creating a thriving home and a business with ease and joy.
it doesn't have to be hard. So if you have this narrative of it has to be hard or it's gonna be hard, that's a limiting belief. So just stop and reframe all of that with positive. Like, I'm capable of creating a thriving home and a business with ease and joy. That is like a huge game changer. And then I've already told you in the other podcast that I've been really focusing on gratitude, because gratitude is one of the most powerful tools for me to shift my energy. You cannot go through and be thankful for all of these things and still operate from a place of negativity. Like, yeah, can you shift back and forth throughout the day? Yes. But in the moment, when you're like focusing on gratitude and thankfulness, your vibration and your energetic is immediately rising. And so I have been all day long, I have been like really focusing for a couple weeks now on gratitude. And you can just do this. I just make this simple. I just walk around doing my thing, whatever it is that I'm normally doing. And in my mind, I say like, I am so grateful for all these birds out here today. I am so grateful for this computer that turned on and allows me to do this work. I am so grateful for my dog that sits right here next to me and wants to follow me around this house all day long. I am so grateful for his love. Like, I am so grateful for this water that I'm putting in my body. I am so grateful for the walls around me and the roof over my head and the shoes on my feet. I mean, you can get like just really basic about it. And when you start really being grateful for the basic things, it'll start growing. And you'll be really grateful for your family. You'll be really grateful for your business. You'll be really grateful for your clients. You'll be really grateful for love. You'll be really grateful for that neighbor. Like, it literally just starts growing. And before you know it, like, you're in the middle of doing something and you're finding gratitude right there in that moment. And so you are naturally throughout the day just tuning your energy frequency up. And when you tune your energy frequency up, good things come. So that one has been huge for me. Like, if you do anything or don't do anything, I honestly would say this would be the one I would start with. I mean, I can't say how much it has been beneficial for me. So I would recommend this one if you can't do any of the other ones. I would do them all, but this is the one that really I would do. And just don't worry about, you can write them down. You can have a journal and you can write them down. And maybe it would be easier to just, for some people to just write 3 things in the morning, 3 things in the evening. Like, and just, you can have it on your notes app. You can have like an actual physical paper journal, like whatever works for you. I'm an on the go, all over the place kind of person. And so for me, I just need to have it incorporated into while I'm doing something else. And then another one is guard your energy. I mean, just like I said the other day, I literally had to be like, no, I can't really do this. I am really struggling. I have sat here all morning giving in to all of the like negativity and the chaos, and it is sucking me up, and my heart rate is increasing, and I can feel my anxiety coming on, and it's just like all over, and it just kept coming even faster and faster. And so I literally had to like put up a wall around me and say, nope, I'm shutting this off. I'm turning this off. I'm like setting this boundary, and I'm out of here for a little while, because I was definitely going down into like the non-thriving area of negativity. And I did it all morning before I recognized it. And I was like, I've got nothing done. I don't even feel like I even know what to do from here. And I just need to shut all of this off. And I just need to go do something totally different. And I literally turned it all off, and I went outside and I got a sander and I put headphones in with some music, and I
stood outside and sanded, where I could hear no one and nothing but music. And that's how I like really guarded my energy from going any lower. And then I just worked on coming out of that place. And so seriously, get off the social media. Like, go find a podcast that is positive. Don't listen to the news. Don't enter a conversation with somebody that drains you. Don't answer the phone. Whatever you have to do to just guard your energy from going into that place, just do it. Connect with people that uplift you rather than, bring you down. Find other like-minded things. If you go on Instagram or social media or whatever, go look at happy puppies. Like, they say that dogs and cats are one of the quickest way to raise your vibration. So go find yourself a channel that is a whole bunch of dogs and cats. Go to Google and just go to images and look at dogs and cats. Like, go look at flowers. Whatever you need to do that can uplift you and inspire you and bring your energy up, do it. Like, shut down, put like a wall around the places that are draining you. And then remember, don't get distracted and overwhelmed. Just focus on your goals and your priorities. And I know sometimes that's kind of hard, because when we're in the place of like chaos and negativity, it's hard to even think, what are my goals? What do I want? What are my priorities? Like, I don't even know what I should be doing. Like, and then we get stuck in this Groundhog Day cycle, like the kids dress, school, cooking breakfast, like cooking dinner, just like that expected role. And we totally forget or can't access, I guess. We just can't access what our goals and priorities are. And so if you write down your clear goals for both your home, your business, yourself, whatever, like write them down in the period of time when you find yourself overwhelmed and confused and not able to like access any of that, because honestly, you're just overwhelmed and your frequency is tuned down or you're tired or whatever. If they're written down somewhere and they're clear, when you go back in that moment that you feel like that and you read them, you'll immediately be able to realign with that. You'll remember quickly what that was. And so it's like just having like a reminder in your phone that you can go back and access whenever you feel like you're distracted or overwhelmed. And then when you access that and you see these goals, you can then determine like a small action, manageable step to focus on. This is something I do on my consultation calls with my mompreneur clients. We set goals and intentions, and then each week or month, depending, we define what are manageable action steps that you can take. Because a goal is great, but if it is really broad and it's really wide and it's like a long-term, way out there type of goal, you're going to possibly stay overwhelmed about that. And so I help pick out the next best small, manageable action step that you can do to eventually get to that overall goal. Because at the end of the day, to get to the top of the staircase, you have to take one step at a time. And so we have to plan out, what is your next step? Like, what is the next step? And we're not going to worry about the rest of the staircase, because sometimes the staircase can twist and wind and change. So right now we're just looking for the next step. And then review and adjust. Like I said, like, the staircase can change. Don't stay so like fixated on it has to be this way. It doesn't have to be this way. We're tuning into ourselves, and we're like going into our light and our truth every day. And so to expect that we are not going to change or not going to want something different or not going to discover something new is not reality at all. And so just stay aligned to your goals and your priorities and like your values, and then all those little steps, just do the little steps as the little steps come up, and before you know it, you're going to be at the top of the staircase. And so if you have those clear goals and you have them written out, that helps you whenever you feel like you've given into like the negative ways and you don't even know what to do anymore. And then remember, the whole goal of thriving is tuning into ourselves and remembering our true light and our true abundance. And so when you can train yourself to see abundance in all around you every day and in who you are, you're going to start seeing the opportunities all around you. And your light is just going to get brighter and brighter. And people are going to look at you and be like, how are you so optimistic? Like, how are you so positive? You always have something positive to say. You always bring out a different perspective that I never even saw. And that's simply because that you're tuned into your abundance, your wholeness, your light. And when you can get there and you can, by gratitude, see the abundance of everything you have around you, and you can shift your energy up and out of this low scarcity, lack vibe that is around us most of the day, everywhere, you're going to start really thriving, because you're going to start seeing possibilities and all these different situations and all these different places, and you're going to look like you are, totally different than most of the people around. And that is your sign that you're actually shifted into a way higher vibration. And when you get there, you're going to be thriving. It won't be able to miss you. And so remember to focus on gratitude and tuning into the abundance that is all around you right now, from your family's love to the potential that your business has, or the possibilities that your business could grow into, or how the action that you took today in your business, it has the potential and the opportunity and the possibility to explode your reach, or whatever it is. Like, just stop and focus on imagining what your thriving home and business looks like from a place of joy and gratitude and abundance. Like, just imagine that in vivid detail. And as soon as you start getting into that place, you can go into like YouTube and find like meditation music and background music, whatever works for you, and then just sit there and like just kind of create a movie in your mind of what you imagine your family to look like, your home to look like, your business to look like, you to look like. Like, take a minute and just really feel into visualizing all the abundance of everything and the opportunities and the possibilities. And one of the easiest ways that you can start doing this when you're first starting to really focus on abundance is, somebody told me this a while back, and when I first heard it, I was like, oh my gosh, that is so good. Go into like a gas station or when you're grocery shopping or whatever, and stand there and look at the toothpaste or the candy bar aisle or whatever, and just stop and look at all of the options and really just stand there and look at all the possibilities and opportunities of the different kinds of toothpaste that you could put in your mouth, or the candy bars that you could eat. Do you want the ones with the nuts? Do you want the one, like, you have all of these options and all of these opportunities. And that was like, I thought that was such a great suggestion, because it's something that we can all do. Like, you could go into your refrigerator and open your refrigerator door and just stand there and look at all of the options that are inside of your refrigerator that you could literally pick up and eat if you wanted. And in that minute, you're just going to start tuning your abundance knob to opportunity. And then you're going to start seeing opportunities for expansion in your business and your home or in yourself or whatever it is that you're looking to do in your life. And then lastly, optimism. And I'm not talking about the fake cheesy, optimistic, put a fake smile on. I'm talking about choosing the light and the sun instead of the dark and the shadow. So right now, things are dark and unexpected things are happening all the time, and sad things are happening all the time, and we're all going through it, and we're all watching it, and we're all hearing about it. And so one of the best things that you can do, I mean, they're all the best things you can do. I literally keep saying this, but one of the things that you can do is just choose genuine optimism. Choose the side of the sun, and instead of reframe and shift your perspective. And instead of focusing on the bad, choose to see the good. Even when it's hard, even when it's tough. Instead of asking, why is this happening to me? Like you're a victim of this situation, reframe that and take the power back and ask, what can I learn from this experience? What am I supposed to be learning and taking away from this experience? What can I take from this with me on my journey that can help me grow? And I know that's super hard. There's been plenty of times in my life where I'm like, why did this happen to me? Why did I have to experience that? Why did I have to go through that? Why did they have to do that? We all do that. We've had so many experiences like that in our life. And one of the best things you can do for yourself is to not give in to that victim negative, shadow moon side, and really just focus on the light side and keeping the power within you and asking yourself, what can I learn from this? What was the good in this situation? What can I take with me on my journey, down the so-called road of life? Keep the power in your hands. Keep the optimism on your side. Don't let the power be in the pessimistic thing or person or whatever. Keep the optimism and be the light through the situation. That is a huge game changer if you're going through something that is really hard, really unexpected, really just bleh, which I think there are so many of us going through that. So just remember to reframe your question and shift your perspective into a way where you can keep the power in yourself and in your hands and inside of you. So to recap, my suggestions of things that I've been doing that, maybe, you can pick and choose. Maybe it'll work for you. Maybe it won't. Maybe one of them will. Maybe none of them won't. Maybe you think they're all just baloney. Whatever. It's all good. If I can help somebody turn off all of everything and really just go back inside of their truths and their power and be able to keep that harmony in their house and that love in their home and their family, or find a positive in their business or grow their business, or whatever it is that you're seeking for yourself to become the best version of you. If any of these can help you, then I'm all for that. So take what you need and leave the rest behind. And honestly, there are a million other things too. So you may have something that I didn't say or I haven't been doing. And so if that's the case, I want to know about what you're doing and what your tips are, because I don't think you can have too many tools in your toolbox. I think you can have a toolbox full of tools that you can pull out and use when you need it. And so if you have something to share, please, by all means, share them with me. So to recap what I went over, I was talking about affirmations, journaling, and meditation to be able to really reconnect back with yourself. And then I was talking about gratitude and how this one has been a game changer for me, and it is huge in shifting your energy. It also coordinates with more of that abundance and optimism that I talked about. And then guarding your energy. Like, sometimes you gotta have the boundaries. Sometimes you just gotta guard yourself. That is just, boundaries. And then making sure that you're staying aligned with your goals and priorities and not giving way to, don't shift your goals and priorities because of, some negative something that you heard that makes you start questioning, like, oh, this is not going to work. Oh, this is a bad idea. This is unrealistic. Like, no. Like, write your goals down, write your priorities down, you stick to them, make manageable action steps. If you need help with that, I do that with people all the time. So go book a one-on-one session with me, and we're going to define your goals and priorities, and then we're going to do your next best manageable action steps so that you can actually get progress towards your goals. And then, of course, like I said, the abundance and the optimism, those are all key. So I know the world can feel totally chaotic, and I know that it can be really stressful. It can cause your heart rates to increase. It can make you feel like the end of times. It can make you just feel really gross. But it doesn't mean that you have to feel that way. Like, you have the power to change that by staying aligned with your true self, by focusing on gratitude and tuning into the abundance. You can create that thriving home and business no matter what's happening around you. Because remember, you are the creator of your reality. When you keep your vibration high, you don't only change your life, but you're inspiring others to do the same, and you're changing the lives of the people that live in your house. So, right now, today, we're going to rise above all the noise, all the chaos, all the negativity, and we're going to become women and moms that are filled with love, abundance, and purpose. Thanks for hanging out with me on the Like a Mom podcast. If you love this episode, be sure to subscribe, leave a review, and share it with another mom who's ready to thrive in life and business. Remember, you've got everything you need to succeed already inside of you. Keep going, keep believing, and know that you're doing amazing. Remember, being a mom isn't a limitation. It's your ultimate advantage. Until next time, keep thriving and shining like a mom.